This is Cairo, the biggest and busiest city in all of the Middle East. But it's also the street food capital of Egypt, and a culinary world I can't wait to discover. I love Middle Eastern food, but I do know I've still got a lot to learn.
Wow, they are sweet, aren't they?
So I'm on a journey through bustling cities and lush farmlands. And from glittering coastlines to harsh desert landscapes.
If the scorpions or the snakes come, you can see they've been here already.
To discover how so many communities have thrived here.
400 breads a day. Yes, you guys are busy.
I'll be shown familiar favourites.
It's never too late to learn how to make hummus.
And sample new flavours.
It's like the best kebab I've ever eaten in my life.
And I'll be using that inspiration in dishes of my own.
Well done, me.
This time, my skills as a critic are tested to the limits. I'm not quite sure. I think I'll have to eat a little bit more. I sing for my supper.
Oh, should we sing a song? No. No?
And I make a meal that's perfect for sharing.
It's when you ask your Auntie Joan around and you know that she's going to get parsley stuck in her teeth.
Often referred to as the cradle of civilization, Egypt is a giant of the Middle East, spanning the northeast corner of Africa and stretching into the southwest corner of Asia. Close to 20 million people call Cairo their home, and on the outskirts of the city, the ancient monuments of Giza stand proudly, just as they did when they were built a staggering 4,500 years ago. Unlike its neighbouring Middle Eastern capitals, Cairo doesn't have such a thriving restaurant culture, so it's on the streets that I plan to find the finest foods. To guide me on my quest, I'm meeting Layla, who runs food tours of Cairo.
Hi, John.
How are you?
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. You have the most extraordinary city.
Yes, welcome to Cairo. If you're in for street food, you've come to the right place.
I absolutely love street food. I think for me, street food is it's sort of the heartbeat of a culture. You get to see the street food where people really eat. This is my favourite thing to do.
Yes.
Eat and explore.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
what is this place?
So this is an authentic small old bakery. These bakeries only do baladi bread.
Baladi.
Yes, and baladi means local.
I've seen bread like this all around Cairo.
Yeah.
But how do they make it?
We can take a look inside and, you can see the process from start to finish.
Show me the way. Whoa, what a place.
So the word for bread is aish in Arabic, and aish actually means life, or comes from the word of life. This is really what bread is to Egyptians,
They are so beautiful.
So you got the whole process here. It's like a mini factory. You've got everything from mixing the dough to flattening out, putting all the ingredients together to actually baking it in the oven. You've got these beautiful old ovens. This is super traditional, very authentic. If they press in the wrong spot, exactly in the middle rather than around it, the bread would basically collapse. And then they would sell that bread cheaper. It would still taste good, but they would sell it cheaper.
I've just realised what I've been doing wrong to my flatbread. By you just saying that,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
You've got to press around the outside,
Exactly.
seal the edges, let the air come in the middle,
Exactly.
and the whole thing will puff up. I think it's one of the most stunning things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In, out, up, down, all around.
Yeah.
The extraordinary production line. There's a sort of bit of magic and ballet and dance going on. Can I take one of these?
Yes.
Can I
Take one
try
of
it?
these.
It is as light as a feather, and it's soft, but there inside is air. Wow. Yeah, wow. Can we open that up?
Yes, do it.
Can I try some?
Yeah, try some.
There's not a lot of flavour to it.
No,
Can I sit my head in that oven and just have a look?
please don't do that.
No, I'm not going to sit my head in the oven, but I want to have a look. Is that all right?
Yeah. It runs very, very deep inside.
Oh,
Sorry.
my goodness. And they puff up. They're like lanterns. They almost look like they're not
Exactly.
real, like bits of crepe paper.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It's hot in here. I mean, not a little bit hot. I mean, hotter than hot on a hot day on Hot Island. And these guys are just doing this over and over and over and over. Okay, I'm out the way. Okay, I'm out the way. Right, time to get out of here. That's the original food delivery service.
Yeah.
He even got a high five on the way out. I mean, that is incredible. This place is extraordinary.
Time to see where my cyclist friends take their thousands of baladi breads.
What is it?
This is my personal favorite dish, and it's called hawashi.
Hawashi.
Hawashi, so it's hawashi.
Hawashi.
And it's going to be that good.
So tell me the process. How does this work? What goes on?
So you take a piece of bread, a full one. You stuff it with minced beef that is actually raw.
Right.
You cook it a first time.
That's what they're doing here.
That's exactly what they're doing. Once this is done cooking, you take it out, you fill it up with cheese, veggies, anything you want basically, and then you put it back in to crisp up the bread and get, you put ghee all over it to get crispy. And then you've got this delicious, flavor bomb.
Can we stop the temptation? Can we actually eat some?
Yes.
Shukran.
It's very, very, very hot, so watch your fingers because you're probably going to burn them.
Now, the thing is, I'm not quite sure. I think I'll have to eat a little bit more. This is like a cross between a toasted cheese sandwich, a burger, a meatloaf, salad, a crispy pizza all in one. Imagine all the best things you've ever had as a takeaway and put it into one sandwich. How do you top that as far as street food goes in Cairo?
Honestly, I don't think you can ever top that.
Is the best food in Cairo always on the streets?
The best food is eaten on the street, but there are still some things you gotta try at home.
Where do we go to now?
Well, let's just keep it a surprise.
A surprise?
Yes, because I know you're gonna love it.
I love a surprise. Surprise in Cairo. This is proper suburbia?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true.
Layla's brought me to the suburbs to sample a local delicacy.
I brought you here to try a classic Egyptian dish called hamam mahshi, or stuffed pigeon. I talked to my friend's mom, and she makes the best hamam mahshi.
I've got somebody's mum teaching me how to make a classic Egyptian dish.
Yes, exactly.
This is the sort of stuff I love.
It's going to be awesome.
Is it?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's do it.
John, this is
Molokhia. Nice to meet you.
Abia is going to show me how she makes her Egyptian stuffed pigeon.
Right. I'm just going to tell you right now, we don't speak the same language, so I'm just going to try as hard as I can.
Abia adds 2 spoonfuls of black pepper and a teaspoon of ground cardamom into a pot of water. Then dices some onions in a blender.
Okay, so that onions are going into a pot. That's ghee. Onions and butter. So these here are all the insides of the pigeon. In here, there's the hearts and the gizzards and everything else. Obviously, I'm slowing her down, so she's coming to take them away from me. She's coming to take them away. Flavour is obviously really important. Onions and butter, and now the hearts and the gizzards of the pigeon into the pot. That's the base flavour. That's some more black pepper. Not an insignificant amount.
Cinnamon?
Cinnamon. Whoa, look at that. Turmeric, lots of it. Yes, garlic powder. It says garlic on the outside of the jar, that's how I know. Salt, yeah. And then... the rice is being washed. The rice is going in.
And hot mayo?
Hot on mayo. Mayo is water.
That will simmer on the hob while we get our hands dirty.
Time to prepare the pigeon. Clean the inside out and then take the head away. Just think, these things this morning could have been flying around Trafalgar Square. These are the livers now. The livers are going in with the rice. Okay. It's all very, very clean, and look at the size of them. They're really lovely and small, and there is beautiful flesh here on the actual breast, and I'm fascinated by this stuffing. As a kid, my grandmother always stuffed a chicken. Roast chicken, lots and lots of stuffing, because chicken was for special occasions, and the stuffing meant they could feed the whole family. One chicken could feed 20 of us.
For my cat.
For your cats?
Yeah.
Oh, they get the best bits. But they have used everything. I mean, the thing is, everything's being used. The pigeon, the inside of the pigeon, the livers, the gizzards, the hearts, all in with the rice. And I suppose the feathers to make a pillow. Just joking. The rice is only half cooked. And the reason it needs to be half cooked is because it's going to become a stuffing. And the stuffing, when it's inside, the cavity needs to swell up and fill the whole bird and take on all the juices. Here in Egypt, pigeon is on the menus everywhere. It's a proper delicacy. Stick the legs through the back of it. We've got a little production line going here. I'm doing the big end, and Abir's doing the neck end.
Stock is brought to the boil,
Stuffed pigeons straight into the water. Here we go.
and the pigeons go in.
Okay, so now we wait. And should we sing a song? La,
غني
la,
شوية.
la. No?
No.
No good?
No.
Okay. One day I'm going to find somebody who'll sing with me.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
15 awkward minutes later, out come the pigeons. And it's time to get arty.
So what's this?
Tomato sauce
Yes, tomato sauce.
and lemon,
Uh-huh,
oil, pepper,
uh-huh.
salt.
Your English is amazing.
Thank you.
And what happens to that?
عن الفرشة بقى.
That's how you paint a pigeon. Okay, so it's going into a cold oven, and then she's going to turn the oven up.
Abia carefully arranges the rice that wasn't used for the stuffing onto our plates. And out of the oven come our painted pigeons.
They look great. That's how you cook a pigeon, Egyptian style. Haman mushi. There we go.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the pigeon party. Thank you very much for having me in your home. Abia, shukran.
Welcome.
The question is, how do we eat it?
Oh.
Yes. Take it apart. Look, there it goes. Ah. Just playing mum. There we are. Oh.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Layla, I love that people, you know, pull their food apart and feel it. So good. Your mum still takes it apart for you?
Yeah.
Of course she does. Does your mum still do your washing?
No, she doesn't.
This family has been so generous. The food is delicious, but it's soft and subtle with spice. The rice is beautifully flavoured with a little bit of turmeric and some garlic, a little bit of cumin and coriander, and this tomato sweetness across the top of the pigeon skin brings it all alive. The pigeon's soft, the whole thing is wonderful. As they say in Egypt, al fahana.
The sun is rising on the city again, and surprise, surprise, I've woken up hungry. And what I do know is that one of my favourite foods won't be hard to find around here.
I'm here to find out about a food that I have loved since I was a kid. It's found in different versions all the way through the Middle East, and it's a must-have when you come to Egypt. It is falafel.
I've eaten falafel all over the world, but it's widely claimed that it was invented here in Egypt 1,000 years ago, when the Coptic Christians gave up meat for Lent.
Sabah al-khair. How are you? Good to see you.
القاهرة بيقولوا عليها طعمية.
Talmiya. Okay, it seems like falafel for all of everywhere else, but in Cairo especially, it's tamia. Here we go. There's the beans. There's the surprise. Many of us think falafel and chickpeas, but here it's just fava beans. Okay. So here, there's herbs, parsley, looks like rocket, mint.
Then he adds garlic, cumin seeds and fennel seeds.
And the last bit is some salt. The salt acts as abrasive and it breaks the whole thing down to make a paste. 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
5.
5 minutes. It's vibrant green, it smells quite incredible, and I am in my element. He said he's finished this bit, but actually we've still got to cook it, and then I get to eat it. To the cooker we go. here we go. Right now, Ahmed has got a bowl of falafel mix. His hand is touching a mixture of coriander seed and a herb, patting the top, taking a piece out, and then going inside. You can smell the garlic and the herbs as it cooks. I've learned how to make falafel, I've learned how to cook it, and add these little bits of spices. One thing to do, and that's eat it. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Thank you. I took a massive greedy mouthful, and for good reason. The smell is intoxicating. It's moist, it's green, it tastes of herbs, it's sweet, it's savoury, it's got spice across the top of it. The bread is soft. It is a piece of art. Is it the best I've ever had? I think it may be.
I'm always happier with a belly full of falafel, and that's a belly. I've tasted so many delicious things here in Cairo, but now I'm off to Giza because I plan to prepare a Middle Eastern classic in the most incredible surroundings.
I'm going to make my version of kufta and tabbouleh in the shadows of the pyramids of Giza. Kufta are just a delicious little meat patty which are cooked over coals on a skewer. In here, I've got some minced beef with a little bit of extra fat, and the reason the fat is because when it cooks, I want it to stay lovely and moist. So to that, I'm going to add a mixture of my ground roasted spices, cardamom pods and coriander seeds. Now to that, good pinch of salt and a really good pinch of pepper. Here's the secret, a little tiny splash of water just to keep that meat wonderful and moist. Splash. A good splash of lemon juice. And to that, fresh chopped mint. A little bit of garlic. Garlic goes in, and so does the mint. Give it a really good mix together. Wooden skewers, which I've soaked in water. If you soak in water, it's easier for the meat to come off when it's cooked. The other thing is, when they're over the coals, they don't burn. Take a bit of mixture, about a spoonful or a forkful, roll it into a ball, flatten the paddy, and then take your skewer and literally wrap it around the outside of it. Make enough for a decent feast. This is all about the charcoal, and they just simply get laid across the top. As the kufta cook, I'm going to make a tabbouleh. Bulgur wheat soaked for about 20 minutes in cold water. Parsley, don't be shy with the parsley, and some tomato. Chop the parsley brutally. It is all about parsley. It's when you ask your Auntie Joan around and you know that she's going to get parsley stuck in her teeth. That lovely parsley smile that we all love at a barbie. In it goes. To that bulgur, soaked and then drained. And every so often just check your kufta, make sure they're okay. Just gently turn them over. Look at that, all lovely. Chopped onion. Take your tomatoes, cut them into quarters, long ways. Over the tomatoes, a little sprinkling of salt, and let them sit. Because my kufta are ready to come off. A bread is not just used for a sandwich or to be used with something inside it, it's also used as a plate. I'm simply going to take them off and place them on top of that piece of bread. And then all the juice from those will slowly but surely soak into the bread. And now to finish off the salad. Be a bit butch with it. Give it a good chop. And now just a tiny touch of olive oil. Just mix it all together. And now take that juice and all those tomatoes and scrape it all in. To that, some lemon juice. Good sprinkling of black pepper. As I've traveled around, I duck into markets, go to souks, you know, hang out a little bit, try and be cool in Egypt, and pick up a few spices. And I've got here za'atar, thyme, oregano, marjoram. There's so much debate about what it is, where it comes from. Did it come from the Romans? Did it come from the Greeks? Did it come from the Egyptians? We're not quite sure. But where it's going to is into my tabbouleh. And now a bit of a mix. Really mix it together. The parsley is the hero. Lemon and grilled meat go together really well for two reasons. The sharp acid in the lime or lemon bring out the flavour, but also that acid helps you digest the fattiness of the meat. Take the bread and put it on your board, a good spoonful of your tabbouleh. This is not for the faint-hearted. This is about sharing. This is about family. This is about offering it up to everybody who you love. Take the wonderful bits of kufta that are here and place them across the top. A bit more lime across the top. And there we have it. Kufta with tabbouleh in the shadow of the pyramids. My time in Cairo has been one of life's truly extraordinary experiences. I've learned how to make falafel. I've been blown away by the bread. I've eaten stuffed pigeon in somebody's home, and I've toured the extraordinary streets of the city and eaten the food. And I've even cooked in front of the pyramids. Welcome to Dubai, a place where you can literally eat your way around the world. But I'm here because I want to discover the cuisine that evolved way before all these skyscrapers were even built.
I love Middle Eastern food, but I do know I've still got a lot to learn.
Wow, they are sweet, aren't they?
So I'm on a journey through bustling cities and lush farmlands. And from glittering coastlines to harsh desert landscapes.
If the scorpions or the snakes come, you can see they've been here already.
To discover how so many communities have thrived here.
400 breads a day. Yes, you guys are busy.
I'll be shown familiar favourites
It's never too late to learn how to make hummus.
and sample new flavours.
It's like the best kebab I've ever eaten in my life.
And I'll be using that inspiration in dishes of my own.
Well done, me.
This time I'll be tempted to do a runner.
That is about 1,000 quid.
I'll become part of an Emirati family,
Okay, I'll be back the same time tomorrow.
and I'll cook a brand new dish of my own.
As happy as Larry, he is.
Dubai sits on the Gulf between Saudi Arabia to the west and Oman to the east. The discovery of oil in the 1950s completely transformed the area into the global hub it has now become. Citizens of the United Arab Emirates are known as Emiratis, and in Dubai they make up less than 10% of the population. But that doesn't mean they haven't retained a distinctive culture and cuisine of their very own. It's the Muslim festival Ramadan whilst I'm here, so many of the locals will be fasting during daylight hours.
Dubai started its life here because of the riches of the Gulf, pearl diving and fishing. And this fishing industry is still massively important to the Emirates today. And you do know, I love a market.
I'm here to meet Emirati local Nazak El Sabak to explore the market and buy some essential ingredients for her specialty fish dish.
How important is fish to the people of this area?
Very important. We have fish 365 days a year.
Well, I suppose that if your place is the port, then fish is always going to be important.
Exactly, yes.
So what sort of fish is this?
This is tuna. In this area, the biggest I've dealt with is like 16, 18 kilo.
Wow. What are we going to use this fish for, Nazat?
We will salt it. We will do malih.
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 Malih, okay.
Malih is salted.
Oh, okay.
Is the word salted. In the old days, pre-electricity, our grandparents used to preserve it by salting.
When in Dubai, do as they do in Dubai.
So it's off to Nazek's house to get a behind-the-scenes look at the traditional Emirati practice of preserving fish, which must have always been a challenge in the heat of the Middle Eastern sun.
Welcome to my kitchen, John.
Hey.
Please meet my sister Zuhur Al Sabag.
Hello, I'm John. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you for inviting me to your home.
You're most welcome. We're happy to have you.
This is going to be one of those sort of great days where I learn something, a dish I don't know anything about. So we've got the fish that we got this morning from the fish market.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
First, we put first layer of salt and little thyme, which is za'atar we call it. Then we put this part of the fish. We put it at the bottom of this bucket. Then we add the salt. You put it in layers.
So that it all preserves evenly?
Yes. I add the last part is little thymes,
Za'atar.
za'atar, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it. We seal it, and then we put it outside in the sun for 1 month. 1 month.
1 month.
Yes.
You've got to make sure you seal that very well, otherwise your neighbours are going to be really upset. It's in London, I'm going to find that very hard to make because I don't have sun.
As long as it is kept in a warm place, that's it.
I live in England. Have you been to England?
And just like all the best cookery shows, here's one they prepared earlier.
In here is all this salted fish. It's been there for a month.
Yes.
Am I allowed to lift the lid?
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
Can I?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes, sure.
Go ahead. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, look at that. So that liquid on top is all the liquid being sucked out of the fish. It has changed colour in the same way as if you would cure beef. It is just fish and salt and thyme with an I-M-E. That is it. 1 month later, you've got fish preserved. And it smells incredible. It smells like the sea.
Shall we start now?
Yes, we can start. What are we cooking?
تحت مالح.
What's data mean?
It means the fish is at the bottom and then the rice is on the top.
Okay.
I do as I'm told, and I pour my expertly chopped onions into a pan of warm butter.
Whoa, look at that.
Dried limes are crushed and added. That salting process has preserved the fish beautifully, but washing most of it off is crucial to avoid overpowering the flavour.
And this is the mare, but you soak this in water?
Yeah.
For how long?
12 hours, I change the water 4 times.
To get rid of all that salt?
Yes.
It's quite meaty, very solid.
Nazek then drops in the cloves and the black peppercorns. The sisters are very secretive over their blend of spices.
That's it. What she puts in
Oh,
there.
I can smell cumin, coriander, a little bit of turmeric, maybe a little bit of cinnamon.
She's saying, yeah.
Yeah? Not bad?
Not bad.
Not bad for an old man?
Next, a clever little trick.
Can we?
Yes.
I'll just put little rice so I don't burn my malih.
Is this how you get the crispy bottom?
Yeah.
What's happened now is put a little layer of rice first, so that sits on the bottom, then the fish, then the more rice. And what will happen is that little layer of rice should stay at the bottom and go crispy. Crispy rice bottom.
Some turmeric with water goes onto the rice topping.
And I like the sound.
You know, nothing in life is any good unless it makes a noise.
Yeah.
Lots of noise.
It talks to you, right?
Yes, food talks to you, but you've got to listen to it sometimes.
And it's ready to serve. Maleh, salted fish, Emirati style.
Look at this for a feast. It smells fantastic. Thank you. The rice is lovely and soft, but the fish is really soft. And there's no salt at all. And it's almost smoky. I'm really surprised by it. Simply delicious. Rice and fish. They always say the best food in the world is in the home.
We'll come to England and cook it for you. And during English summer.
So you might know Dubai as tall buildings and fast cars, but actually this is where it all began. This is Dubai Creek. On either side, the markets, the souks. It was all about trading bits and pieces, be it gold or textiles, and even spices. And that's where I'm off to. I'm meeting food entrepreneur Mo. He's very familiar with these spice markets, having grown up in a household passionate about home cooking.
So you're going to show me around?
I am. Look, we're gonna spend some time in the shade, so it's not gonna be as hot as you think.
Well, it's pretty hot.
Mo's already invited me to his parents' house this evening to break the fast and enjoy a traditional Emirati Iftar meal. So, I'm already thinking this is the ideal place to find a gift.
What is it about Emirati cuisine and spices? What is individual to it?
The spices that we use here are influenced by the Indian subcontinent, by Iran, by Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Africa. So what happened was when those people arrived, they brought their food with them and they brought their trade with them. So in this area, you'll find the spice market. This is where it all happened.
And now they've even got air conditioning in here, which makes it a little bit more comfortable than wandering just the streets.
They imported that too.
I've never seen turmeric like that before. That is turmeric, isn't it?
Yeah, this is dried whole turmeric.
Can I snap that?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
All right,
that's hilarious. I can't even break it in a...
We're going to the gym. I'm going to try this
That is so... Oh, OK. Fair enough, then. That's OK. We are here for a reason, and you're going to make us a spice mix. So where do we start?
I don't even know what half these spices are, but I'm happy to see that bag getting loaded up.
So every one of these shops has a slightly different spice mix. So this is his personal blend. So all of this goes into a grinder and gets blitzed into a powder.
That, for me, is more exciting than a bag full of sweets when you go to the cinema. You know, people get pick and mix. That, to me, is my pick and mix. That is a spice mix to behold. Come on, then.
What can the next shop have that could possibly top that?
Oh.
John, so you're gonna love this. You know, foodies love this. So this is top-grade Iranian saffron. This is more expensive than truffles or anything you could imagine.
Saffron is more expensive than gold per kilo. I mean, that shows how expensive it really is. And each one of those is the individual stamen of a crocus plant. There are millions of hand-picked, dried stamens in there. This is like one of those life-defining moments. That is about 1,000 quid. I've never seen that quantity of saffron before in my life. Bye-bye, saffron. Wow.
I'm in Dubai, sampling the traditional food of the Emiratis. I'm lucky enough to have been invited to my new friend Mo's house for a traditional Iftar meal. So after a long day of fasting for Ramadan, we'll all be eating together at the family home.
Welcome, John.
Mo, how are you?
Come on in.
Thank you very much indeed.
My mom's in the kitchen, so she's expecting us and she's gonna put us to work, so heads up.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. But only fair if I come to somebody's kitchen. I have a gift for you. Soraya, thank you very much. That's for you.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Let's grind.
Let's grind.
I thought he'd never ask.
Smell that.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. The difference in that is the smell is quite incredible to what I'm used to. And it's slightly hot.
Is it spicy?
Yeah, it's spicy. Oh, that's hot. It's coriander and cumin. There's spice of chili. I'm never, ever going to buy spices in a jar ever again.
I thought I brought plenty of spices with me, but look at the amount of food Mo's mum is preparing.
There's chicken, there's meat, there's rice, there's stuff everywhere. How many different dishes will you cook tonight?
Every day, 5 or 6 kind I will cook.
5 or 6. Spoiled children, that's what it is. So, it's a special occasion, so that means the spices have come out.
This is my mom's recipe.
So you trying to tell me that my spice mix isn't good enough? This is the problem, isn't it?
It's not big enough, John.
How long is that going to take for you to use that bucket of spice mix?
3 kilos of that. 1 year I use it.
Wow, 3 kilos of spice a year. That's a lot of cooking. Am I allowed to get a jar of that to take away to be able to cook with my fish?
My mom's one step ahead of you. She's already put them in jars for you.
Has she?
She has.
Can I take the bucket? Mate, thank you very much indeed.
The main courses, all 5 of them, are already cooked, so I'm going to help with dessert.
So the recipe apparently is called lagamat. Like you, I have no idea what this is going to turn out like. So in here you've got some yeast, water and sugar.
Yes.
And you leave that for 5 minutes.
Yes.
So that the yeast starts to activate.
Yes.
That's 1 heaped spoonful of corn flour she's added and 2 spoons of yogurt. Then goes in 1 more cup of water. Next in goes a cupful of wheat flour and give it a stir.
So it's a batter. I can see it's a batter.
And here's a surprise ingredient.
It's cardamom. Baking powder and baking soda. Yeah. It's going to be as light as anything, this. It'll be like a cloud. Shall I mix it? OK. Is that enough?
Yes.
It sits expanding for 20 minutes under that plate until it looks like this.
It's quite a loose batter. It's not It's not like a donut dough. And Soraya has just put on a rubber glove. Who knows why?
Because she hand drops little balls of dough into the heated oil.
What never fails to surprise me is, with food like this, the simplicity. There's no fancy implements, there's no machines, there's no piping bags, there's nothing like that at all. It's just somebody popping the donuts over in the oil. With a dough like this, it's quite dense, which means the oil can't be too hot, because if it's too hot, they don't cook in the centre and they don't puff up enough. They're a donut.
My turn. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Don't try this at home. It's okay? You're being too kind to me, aren't you?
You're a chef, you asked me?
No, I'm learning. I've never done this before. You tell me. I'm trying to make these, each one of these, small and perfectly round. That's the objective. Presently, like every shape, but round. Oh, I think I've got it. It's quite a quick little drop. Look at this, look. These are all perfectly round.
You also, yeah.
No.
You did one.
I did one. Thanks. I got one.
Tomorrow you come back.
This is saffron water. That's been mixed with some sugar syrup. Saffron donuts. What is that? Pistachio nuts.
Pistachio powder.
Lagay nuts with saffron syrup and pistachio nuts. That's dessert.
Obviously, I'd like to eat those right away. But first, there's the matter of a massive iftar meal with Mo's family to break their day of fasting for Ramadan.
John, you're sitting with me.
Sitting with you.
So I can take care of you.
Thanks.
Because if you sit next to my mom, she'll just fatten you up.
I'm already there.
Okay, so the way it works is you break your fast with the date. It's a nice sugar hit to have after a long day of fasting. So here's what's gonna happen, John. Everybody's just gonna give you so much food. It's gonna come from so many different directions.
Okay.
And you won't know what to do.
And I've got food sweat already.
I've just about left room for a couple of Soraya's donuts.
Where's the saffron lagema? There's only one. That's mine. I don't want that one. That's date syrup. This is my one.
That's your problem.
My favourite thing, saffron. Oh, look, there's one left.
You should have taken before.
Look, here is the lesson. I got to say, whilst you're here, you've got to eat really fast or you don't eat at all. It's soft inside, crispy outside, sweet, sticky, saffron flavoured, pistachio-rich, wonderful donut. Magic carpet right in the bowl. OK, I'll be back at the same time tomorrow.
That was an incredible eating experience, and I'm off to make a dish of my own. I'll need one or two things from the market.
2 of these, please, 2 that size.
Before I head to the Waldorf Astoria, who've loaned me a kitchen.
Having been inspired by the food of the Emirates, I'm going to make you some grilled fish with saffron potatoes and a herb salad. I've learned that the Emiratis like herbs with their main courses, and that's why the saffron, I have fallen in love with the amount of saffron I've seen through the streets. To bring the best out of the saffron, I'm going to toast it. Remember that each one of these is a singular strand of a crocus flower, and it should be treated with real reverence.
I add salt and a generous helping of olive oil to the pan.
Now for lots and lots of garlic, and I mean lots. Now shallots. And just cut them into 6 pieces. Let the onions just soften a little bit, and it's not about frying them, it's more like it's boiling them in oil, which might sound incredible, but they will go lovely and soft. They'll take on the flavour of the saffron, and they'll take on the flavour of the garlic. Take some parboiled potatoes, small ones, cut them in half, and just drop in. Whilst that cooks away, some tomatoes, chopped. And believe it or not, some more oil.
I add some coriander seeds, chilies, and pickled lemons. Spring onions follow.
See the colour of the saffron now. The colours are amazing. As those potatoes and tomatoes and saffron cook together, the fish. Whole fish. This is a piece of bream I bought from the market. I've had it gutted, I've had it cleaned, I've had it ready to go. And it's now about making sure the fish is cooked evenly. And that means I've got to score it. Score it all the way through the flesh to the bone, the backbone, but keep the actual belly whole, otherwise it will fall apart in the grill. And then a little bit of oil. Take the spice, sprinkle it across the top, and rub it into those slits.
This is Soraya's spice mixed with fennel seeds in it to bring out the flavour of the fish. On the grill it goes.
I'm going to ask everybody to cook fish for half as long as you think it needs to be cooked for. So a piece of fish like that, people might think 20 minutes. That's going to take 10 minutes at the most, 5 minutes each side. Listen to it, let it colour, let the flames dance around a little bit, and just look after it.
I make a herb dressing for the fish using spring onions, dill, coriander, mint, parsley, and tarragon.
Just give it a bit of a squeeze together and release all that flavour and all that aroma. To that, a little tiny bit of olive oil, a sprinkle of salt, and a squeeze of lemon juice. Now to put it together on a plate. Look at that. As happy as Larry, he is. And there you have it, spiced grilled fish, saffron potatoes, and a herb salad. For me, the true flavour of the Emirates. What I've discovered on this culinary journey of the Middle East is beyond the architecture and the luxury of Dubai sits a fascinating yet traditional Emirati cuisine. It's born out of the seafaring traders of spice and the richness of the Gulf, and all in a place where the desert meets the sea. I'm on the south of Egypt's Red Sea coast, and this place is renowned for its tourism and its beautiful coral reefs. But I want to find out about the food of the people who have survived here for generations in this extraordinary and very harsh landscape. I love Middle Eastern food, but I do know I've still got a lot to learn. Wow, they are sweet, aren't they? So I'm on a journey through bustling cities and lush farmlands. And from glittering coastlines to harsh desert landscapes. If the scorpions or the snakes come, you can see they've been here already. To discover how so many communities have thrived here. 400 breads a day. Yes, you guys are busy. I'll be showing familiar favourites. It's never too late to learn how to make hummus. And sample new flavours. It's like the best kebab I've ever eaten in my life. And I'll be using that inspiration in dishes of my own. Well done, me. This time, forget about gold. This tribe trades in goats.
This is the bank.
This is the bank?
Yes.
I make a new friend.
The Arabic name is called Nigel.
Nigel.
And I conjure up a feast fit for a pharaoh.
I'm going to cook goat with salsa verde, pickles, and bread.
I'm in Wadi Al Gamal National Park, which covers an enormous 7,000 square kilometres. It stretches from the crystal clear expanse of the Red Sea and inland to the barren wastelands of the Sahara Desert. I'm up at daybreak to meet my guide, Mohammed.
Hi.
Mohammed?
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning, John. Hi.
I'm hoping he'll give me some insight into the traditions of the Ababda people and how they survived in this vast and arid expanse.
What is this area?
Valley of Camel.
The Valley of the Camels?
Yes.
This is an amazing area.
Sustained by the traditions of fishing and herding goats and sheep that still lives on today, the Ababda people once forged a living in this hostile environment, guiding ancient caravan routes across the desert. We seem to be driving for hours, and I don't mind admitting I'm well out of my comfort zone.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum.
So what's this? So this is.
Yeah.
Aha. Okay.
Great for the
so this is a
traditional
different greeting.
Yes.
طيب شعب كيف حالك شديد كويس عامل كيف صحتك
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm being
have a
told to
seat.
sit down.
Yes,
There's a
have a
fire
seat.
going.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting something. I don't know what yet. Okay. What's this?
This is traditional coffee, jabana.
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 So that's green coffee beans, and he's going to roast them.
Yeah. It's grilled first.
Right.
And the grinding with the ginger.
Ginger in your coffee?
Yes.
Sounds delicious.
Yes.
I can start to smell the beans roasting. I mean, you think of this place.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah.
The coffee ceremony is central to the idea of desert hospitality. Tribes greeting one another after what could have been potentially days without any human contact is crucial.
What's that?
Ginger.
What I'm very quickly realising is you've got to slow down. The pace of the world that I know can't exist in a place like this because it is scorching hot. So sitting under the shade of a tree and waiting for coffee to be made is just a rest. Oh my goodness. That's just rich, aromatic, fresh ground, fresh roasted, gingered coffee. This may change the way I drink coffee forever. So what is that little thing?
This is jabana. Yes,
The pot's called a jabana,
Yes.
and that's why the coffee is a jabana.
Yeah.
It is a real ceremony. I know people might think I'm getting overexcited about a cup of coffee, but I've never seen anything like this before. I think this is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. That little yellow thing, what is it?
Filter, because in order to take the coffee, this is not gross for this one.
Shukran.
Okay.
Is so potent with ginger. It warms the back of your throat. It is of deliciousness. I mean, really deliciousness. Lovely, rich coffee, quite sharp, quite bitter, and then the warmth of ginger in the background.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yes. Yeah.
This coffee is fantastic.
Just like the coffee beans, their food is kept close by.
So that little... All these goats here, what do they do with the goats?
For Ababda, goats and sheep is important because they use the milk and also eat the meat and also sell part of this goat to buy flowers and clothes. And also the man is more power when he have more goats, more sheep.
So is it fair to say that for the Ababda people, goats are like money is to us?
Yes, this is the bank.
This is the bank?
Yes.
But he looks after his bank and he travels with his bank?
Yes.
Sitting around having a cup of coffee with these amazing people in the middle of the desert reaffirms for me how extraordinary humans are. They travel around, they follow the rains, they herd their goats, they trade, and they sit quietly, drink coffee, and spread the news. Makes you feel pretty special.
Many Ababdas still move through the desert with their herds of goats or sheep, following the rain or travelling from well to well. But these days, many Ababda have moved to the towns and villages around the Nile Valley, drive around in pickup trucks rather than riding camels. We're heading even deeper into the wilderness now on the way to cook and eat. But I don't see any buildings around here, let alone a kitchen.
Look, there's the goat.
Yeah, it's the goat.
There's already a small fire burning, and it looks like they're on the hunt for something very specific.
What sort of stones are they collecting?
This is the basalt and granite.
So very hard stone.
Very hard stone, and it keeps the heat a long time.
Those stones aren't here. What is this?
No, this is not the stone. This is the old corals.
Coral?
Yeah, old coral reef, because the sea is covered this area before.
That's coral.
You can find the fossils also there.
Mate, I'm a fossil.
Yeah, shells and the old.
You don't understand the joke, do you?
Yeah.
Let me tell you the joke, yeah? You said you'll find fossils here?
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm the fossil.
Yeah.
I'm the old fossil.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the joke. Now you laugh.
No, the joke. This is true.
That's just the way it is. I'm a fossil. So the goat is going to be for us to eat?
Yeah. We'll put the meat in the spice, and the spice 1 hour.
Okie doke. And that's a beautiful piece of goat, that is. It's a kitchen in the desert.
As the rocks heat up, the marinade is prepared. Lime, ground cumin and black pepper are mixed together and added to the meat.
You know, I've seen little fires to make coffee, now piles of stone to cook goat. Every single thing they do seem to have a different fire.
The stones are now hot enough for the marinated meat.
I had no idea. I thought this meat was going to go in a pot and be cooked, and the pot's going to be on the stones, but actually the meat's going straight onto the stones. It's cooking on stone. That's amazing. All the little bits, all the big muscles which do all the work and take long, slow cooking, like the leg and the shoulder, have gone in small pieces on top of the stone. Then that belly with all the fat on the foot has been laid across the top as a lid. So actually we're going to get two processes going on here, where the meat's going to cook from underneath but steam through, which will make it lovely and tender with the marinade, and then that piece of belly, all the flavour and the fat will melt into it and keep it moist. Well, I mean, that is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I mean, I've seen a barbie in my life, but I've never seen anything like this, ever.
Do you smell it?
I can smell it. It smells great.
They've built a separate fire, and now they're making a dough with flour, water and salt. I've never seen bread cooked without an oven before. Ah, it's buried in the ashes of the fire.
That is, quite simply, impressive. A pit, some coals, a little bit of sand, and bread made from just flour and water. My big question is, how do you know when it's done? Mary Berry would have a problem putting a little fork in there to make sure it's got nothing sticky on it.
Amazing. While the bread cooks, the goat is coming along a treat.
The marinated spiced meat is slowly cooking away, but it's not being cooked too quickly, because if it does cook too quickly, it constricts and goes tough. And this gentleman now is just turning it ever so gently, every so often, to make sure it's cooked properly, with real care and real attention. I guess you would, after a day in the sun like this, collecting rocks, herding your goats. You're going to make sure it's cooked beautifully.
Once the ashes are tapped off, the bread is ready. And the goat's not far behind.
This is when I'm reminded what life is all about. Come to a place like this, which seems very, very barren, and to be invited into with a group of people to eat, and this is it. Simple as it may seem, goat cooked over the fire, spiced and marinated, and some bread cooked under coals. I've never seen anything like it. It smells incredible, and I am starving. Gentlemen, shall we eat?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go. Go. Yeah, go on, come on.
Yeah.
It's the best goat I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best goat ever. There's always humour. It's just something about people cooking and eating. Being outside like this, the sun's gone down in the middle of the desert. The food is absolutely delicious. The flavour prevailing is that of the lemon juice on the outside from the marinade. But also the stone has made it cook all the way through and be far more tender than I expected. With a little bit of crispy bread, it's the perfect sandwich. I will not forget this moment, I can tell you.
Welcome.
I'm in southern Egypt, learning how the nomadic Ababda people have lived and eaten in the desert and here on the Red Sea coast for hundreds of years. On dry land, goats, sheep, bread and milk are their chief ingredients, as well as their trading goods. But here by the coast, the sea is rich with fish. So I'm keen to find out how they catch their food and how they prepare it. And for a gruff seasoned Aussie deep sea fishing bloke like me, this should be great fun.
Are we going fishing in this boat?
Nah, it's for other boat.
Oh.
Just boat to take you and us to there.
This boat's going to ferry us to that boat?
Yeah.
I quite like fishing, but that looks a bit small for me.
Yes.
This is going to be fun. Onwards and upwards. You okay? You good? That was graceful.
The fishing is traditional for Ababdan culture. The national park and the resource is very, very important. This is why the Ababda people help to conserve the park.
Can anybody fish here?
No, here is a national park for the Ababda people to fish by line. Just take the fish for him family, and if it have a more, you can sell that.
So it is their livelihood, it's their life?
Yeah, it's in life, yeah.
But they can only fish with that small line by hand?
Yeah.
And not with anything else at all?
No, nothing.
So just a bit of fishing line, some tiny fish chunks for bait and a hook. This could take a while. Or maybe not.
He's got something. Wow, that is a fish. That's a coral trout. That's beautiful.
The Arabic name is called Nigel. Nigel.
Not Nigel, Nigel.
Nigel.
What a beauty. Big?
Yeah.
Right, I tell you what, if you stroke it, it won't get any bigger.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I mean, 20 minutes we're out here,
Yeah.
one line,
Yeah.
one hook, one bit of bait, and we've caught a fish.
Yes.
My day has been made.
It wasn't long before Nigel the coral trout was joined by Graham the groper, Roger the red snapper, and the skinny one is Brian, the barracuda.
Hello, how are you? Very nice to see you. Hello again, how are you doing? It seems like all the fishermen have gathered for lunch, and I can feel the heat from the fire, which can mean only one thing. We're going to cook. So the big fish we caught today goes to the families, and then around
other fish, small one is will cook.
They've gone on scales on, guts in, and the scales been burnt off slowly by the ash. I've never had a fish that's not been gutted before, but hey, who knows? These fishermen still seem to be here, so it can't be that bad.
This is the fish now is cooked after grill. We'll take the fish again to the sea. This is traditional.
He just dunks them in the water and gives them a little wash. That's really clever, because it will stop it from cooking, and I mean the fish won't become overcooked.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never seen that happen before.
Yeah.
Amazing. Perfect. I'm about to learn how to eat fish Ababda style. I'll take the skin off.
This is now after when bottled water is easy now to eat it.
Oh, because the water. Look at this. Look how easily it comes off the bone. Take a bit of bread. Just falls apart. Look at all that lovely white flesh. Beautifully white, soft, clear fish flesh, just freshly caught. Fish Ababda style.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really good. The little trick of washing it in the sea to cool it down really quickly is, I think, is inspired because the flesh will now just easily come off the bone. A very, very clever trick I've just learned. Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Yeah. Yum.
It doesn't get much simpler than that. That fish was delicious. But after my cooking lesson in the desert, I have something very specific in mind for my own dish.
Inspired by my time with the Ababda people, I thought it best that I make some goat. I'm going to cook goat with salsa verde, pickles and bread. I'm fortunate enough to have this wonderful spot to cook at the Gorgonia Resort, and it's just a lovely sunrise. The day's about to start. It's going to get quite hot, so I think we might as well get on with it. What I've got here is a belly of goat. If you think about a rack of lamb or even a belly of pork, but this lovely piece has all the bones and the ribs in it, and it will eventually make goat spare ribs by the time I'm finished. So I take this wonderful piece of meat and place it into a pot, and then to flavour it as it cooks, lots and lots of coriander seeds, black peppercorns, and red onion. The Ababda people squeeze lots and lots of lemon juice over their goat to let it cure. I'm going to do something similar, but I'm going to use a little bit of vinegar, which should just help to break down the fat and the connective tissue, which means it'll become tender. And then cover the whole thing with water and a good pinch of salt. And now for a little chefy trick. Once a piece of meat like this, or if you're poaching a piece of fish or whatever it might be, it will always start to float to the top, which means it doesn't cook evenly. So I'm going to show you how to make something called a cartouche. Take a square of paper, fold it in half to make a triangle, and then keep on folding it in half and then half again. You'll have a point at the end, lots of folds, like origami.
I measure from the center to the edge of the pan, cut it to the size of the pan, and then cut a hole in the middle to let the steam out.
And the goat now simmers in that poaching liquid very, very gently. And that's the first cook, just to cook it and to make all the muscles lovely and tender before I fry it and make it crispy.
After 20 minutes, the goat is ready to come out.
So my goat has been poached, taken out of the poaching liquid and just left to cool for about half an hour or so. It is cooked, but food is about texture as well as flavour. And what I want this to be is lovely and crispy. Some more coriander seeds into a dry pan and the tiniest amount of oil. Take the poached belly of goat and put it into the pan rib side up. That means the fat underneath should start to render and cook and become lovely and crispy. The goat will sizzle a little and then eventually it'll calm down. When it starts to calm down, it means the fat is starting to render. Just let it go, let it sit nice and quietly, let it cook really quietly. Just take your time. Meat likes to take its time. Think the Sunday roast and how long that takes to cook.
Now for the salsa verde. I mix garlic with a handful of parsley and basil and chop.
So there's the verde part, the green bit. Now for the salsa part, the sauce bit.
I squish a handful of capers with their brine and add the soft part of the loaf of white bread.
And I'm going to keep that lovely bit of crust because when I had the goat with the Ababda people, they had that lovely crusty bread, and I'm going to serve that on the side of my goat. Douse it with some vinegar. Get your hands in and really give it a mix about. And to that, I add my chopped herbs and garlic. A pinch of salt. Now give it a really good stir. And now to finish off the goat. The goat has become lovely and crispy on one side, but because the bones are in it, it's going to be as if you put a banana in, so it will be bowed. And the way to make sure it's really hot is to turn it over, and another little chefy trick. Use steam. Steam cooks things a lot quicker than anything else. And now time to serve it all up. Tiniest amount of oil in my salsa verde. I'd use olive if I had it, but here, on the edge of the desert, there are no olive groves. So I'm dealing with what I have. Just make it lovely and rich. Some lovely sliced red onions raw. I like the raw onion with the meat. A little squeeze of lemon juice. There you have it, my goat by the Red Sea, inspired by the Ababda people. Bread, goat, a little bit of sauce and some pickles. Delicious. I have loved my time here on the Red Sea coast, but I've also been educated by the Ababda people on how they use different types of fire to cook different foods to feed themselves. And it's reminded me of human resilience and the way in which we adapt to our surroundings. What an extraordinary place, what an extraordinary way to live. This is Luxor on the banks of the Nile, and I'm surrounded by ancient temples, ancient ruins, and ancient crops, some dating back as far as the pharaohs. And I want to know how all that history influences the food of modern Egypt today. I love Middle Eastern food, but I do know I've still got a lot to learn. Wow, they are sweet, aren't they?
So I'm on a journey through bustling cities and lush farmlands. And from glittering coastlines to harsh desert landscapes.
If the scorpions or the snakes come, you can see they've been here already.
To discover how so many communities have thrived here.
400 breads a day. Yes, you guys are busy.
I'll be showing familiar favourites.
It's never too late to learn how to make hummus.
And sample new flavours.
It's like the best kebab I've ever eaten in my life.
And I'll be using that inspiration in dishes of my own.
Well done, me.
This time I see how the Egyptians put the fast into fast food.
The speed is incredible.
I meet a flame-throwing baker.
Whoa! Well, from now on, I think I'm going to change the way I clean my barbecue.
And I make my most appetising dish yet.
They look a bit shriveled and as if they're no good to anybody.
With less than 1 centimetre of rain a year, Luxor in the centre of Egypt is one of the driest cities on earth. But thanks to millennia of irrigation from the River Nile, it's a lush, verdant oasis perfect for agriculture. Sitting amongst 4,000-year-old temples, it was once known as Thebes and hailed as the ancient capital of Egypt. It's now the perfect place to explore some of Egypt's most traditional foods.
So at the start of this adventure, I want to know about the ancient foods of this country. And I hear that there's something called fool, which is eaten for breakfast all around Egypt. And there's even suggestions it was around at the time of the pharaohs.
Fool's main ingredient is the humble fava bean. Once used as an offering by the pharaohs to the god of the Nile, they are still a much-loved ingredient in Egypt today. I'm meeting Ahmed, who I've heard has the fastest hands in the West.
Morning.
Anchor the Nile.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I have some breakfast?
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So there's this massive pot, and in this pot is just beans and lentils being cooked for hours, apparently. Almost the texture of chili con carne, but there's no meat in it.
Salt.
Salt.
Lemon.
Cumin.
Chili.
Chili.
Tahini.
Tahini.
Oil.
And a little bit of oil.
Onion. Lemon.
Lemon juice. So he's made this sort of basic fool by the looks of it in the pot, and now he's seasoning every single portion himself. And you can see he's mixing it really well to make sure all that seasoning gets through the whole thing. More tahini. A bit more oil. Chili. Cumin. And I have that with bread, yes?
1, 2.
Our pickles, good. Chopped salad. There's breakfast. Look at that. Breakfast of champions. Or maybe it's the breakfast of kings.
Beautiful. Beans beautiful.
It's beautiful. That's really cool. On top of this fool, this very, very simple bean puree, there's lemon, there's tahini, there's cumin, there's salt. It's fantastic. I mean, properly fantastic. 10 and 5, 15. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. 15, about 70p. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Thank you. See you later.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Today, Egypt is one of the world's biggest producers and consumers of bread, a love affair that dates back thousands of years. It turns out the ancient Egyptians were also master bakers.
I have been fortunate enough to be invited to somebody's home to learn about leavened bread. It's said that it was first ever made here in Egypt, and the tradition lives on. It looks like it might be the right place. Hello? Hello? John. Look, the thing is, we have a language barrier, but we're just I'm gonna follow. We're gonna see what happens. Hello? Hello? Wow. You're tiny. Wow. Oh. Oh, hello. Hello. How are you? I didn't really expect to be handed the baby. We're going to learn about bread today, aren't we? We're all going to learn about bread. Yeah. Oh, another one. It seems to be. I feel like the Prime Minister. The human side of John Torodes.
I've got 4 little ones already, so I say let's make some bread.
What's the name of the bread?
Shamsi. Here's Shamsi.
Shamsi.
Ayo, Shamsi.
What's Shamsi? This. Shamsi means sun. Is that right? In goes the flour. See, it's all bubbling. That is active yeast.
This is what we would call a starter. It contains flour, water, and most importantly, yeast, which makes the bread rise or become leavened.
You see, the bread's being folded over, then picked up and slapped. This is proper hard work. This is a special moment for me. As a cook and a lover of food, I am watching bread as it was made here in Egypt centuries ago. The birthplace of Lebanon bread. And I'm watching it here amongst this. The blue skies, the open, and this amazing home with a family. How lucky am I? That's it?
خلصت.
Yeah? Tired now? Okay.
The dough is shaped into balls and scooped onto round boards.
This is a production line. Let's go and see where this goes to. Come on. This way, come on. Oh, look at this, look. This is quite an incredible thing because there are sheep grazing, there's farmers working, there's farmland. This is as green as green as green, and this is Egypt. So this bit that's left over here in the bowl is for the next time bread's being made. So by keeping it like this, the yeast stay active, and once the liquid's added to it, up it goes like a huge balloon.
The loaves are left out in the sunshine to rise for about an hour, which explains their name, Shamsi, after the sun. In the meantime, the ladies build a fire under the bread oven to get it smoking hot.
The dough, you remember, is really wet. Because it's been in the sun, it now has a crust on it. And with a stick, they're going around the outside to release the crust on the outside of the bread, so when it goes in the oven, the whole thing opens up. I've never seen anybody do this before. Right, oh, they're going to clean the oven, but I'm not quite sure what's happening here. But there's flour going into the base of the oven. Whoa! And burn the flour.
The flour catches fire and burns off the dirt, which makes the oven clean and ready to go.
Well, from now on, I think I'm going to change the way I clean my barbecue.
In go the loaves.
The bread is already rising in there, and now it's getting sealed up. And it's going to cook for between 20 minutes and half an hour. In there is bread. The first ever leavened bread is said to have come from here in Egypt. And it's been passed on from generation to generation, and the same process seems to be going on in front of me today. Pretty stunning, I think. Done. Here we go. When you tap bread, you can tell whether it's done or not by the noise it makes. It's like a hollow drum. You're joking. That's boiling hot. Look, just picks it up with her hands. An ancient technique using ancient grain in a house using ancient materials in a modern world. Next time you pick up a loaf of bread from the shop, have a little think about its humble beginnings.
Time to eat.
Quite amazing, really, invited into somebody's home to make bread. And now I get to eat it with aubergines, beans or fool, some tomatoes, a bit of peppers, some cheese. This is very special. Thank you very much indeed. Wow. The bread is really soft, spongy, almost the texture of a crumpet inside. It's so light. Look how airy it is. It's really very good. This part of my journey has been a real revelation to Shamsi.
I'm in Luxor, unlocking the secrets of the food of the pharaohs. And here at the market, I should find some clues. Luxor local Ibrahim is passionate about traditional Egyptian food, and he's keen to show me a regional speciality that's been used for thousands of years.
This is Molokhia. Grows this in Nile, West Bank and East Bank in Luxor. Everyone eat Molokhia in the season.
Everybody in Egypt eats this?
Exactly.
Is this a traditional vegetable?
This is tradition for the pharaohs, for this Egypt here.
The pharaohs?
Yeah, exactly, pharaohs.
So that's been eaten in Egypt for thousands of years, and I've never heard of it.
Most people prefer this. Put in the hot water, boil it all together with onion, and a few minutes, I think it's cooked.
Sounds a bit like spinach soup. Can I eat some raw?
Yes, all this.
I'll give it a go. Oh, no.
Not okay.
No, it's not okay.
Yes.
Now I understand why they cook it, because that is not very pleasant in your mouth. It dries your mouth up completely. It doesn't taste like mint or coriander or even spinach. It's not even metallic in flavour. It's actually quite bland. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That is something that grows abundant, apparently, on the banks of the Nile. It grows during the hot season, and it cooks really quickly. Ibrahim has taken me to Sofra, the restaurant he works in. Having tasted the Molokhia in the market, I'm hoping it's going to be transformed into something a little more tasty. Chef Mohammed is the man who's going to show me how it's done. Hiya.
Hello.
How you doing? So what are we going to make?
Molokhia. Roast fried rabbit.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Yes, okay.
Very good. Okay. First, the rabbit is added to a pot of hot water with onions. Ground coriander and cumin is added.
After half an hour, then it's finished.
So whilst that's cooking, we start preparing the Molokhia. The leaves are picked, washed, and chopped. Okay. It's that chopping parsley, and it's gone quite mulch-like. Next, chopped garlic is fried in some oil.
First coriander with garlic.
Okay.
Okay.
Coriander and garlic.
And a little bit cumin.
Okay. Now, stock from the rabbit pot is added to the fried garlic.
It's now finished number one, like this here. Okay.
There seems to be two processes going here. The first one is the base, garlic, softened, cumin and coriander seeds, a little bit of stock from that rabbit. Now we've got more of the rabbit stock in a separate pan, and that separate pan, by the looks of it, will be used to cook that green vegetable, that Molokhia. In goes the Molokhia. The reason the rabbit is being cooked and being cooked like that before it's being fried is not for the rabbit, it's for the stock. It's for the stock to cook the vegetable in to give it the flavour. Very clever. The cooked garlic and spices are then added to the Molokhia.
My house, I eat Molokhia. Maybe every day.
Do you?
Yeah. Very nice here. Like this.
I'll make you strong.
Yeah, very strong.
Yeah, that's good. The rabbit is pan-fried. Salt and pepper is added along with more ground coriander and ground cumin. In goes fresh garlic. And finally, chopped tomatoes and even more ground coriander to finish off. What's really struck me whilst I've been here in Luxor is how important bread truly is. This bread, shamsi, which means the sun, and of course sun giving life, and of course the green of the verdant banks of the Nile. You know, it's a lot richer, a lot greener, a lot more opulent than I expected to be. Bread, of course, give it a dip. The flavour of that stock coming from that rabbit, very similar to chicken, has made it really, really rich. Flavour of garlic running through it, cumin and coriander. It's delicious. It is like a very good bowl of spinach soup. Popeye, eat your heart out. Bit of rabbit. Oh, look, it's all lovely and tender because it's been boiled first. The rabbit's okay. The Molokhia is definitely the star. Cheers. I'm picking up some ingredients for a dish of my very own, inspired by the riches of this ancient city. Luxor has been a true inspiration to me, and I'm going to use lots of things that I've seen along the way. I'm going to make chicken, spiced aubergine, and my Egyptian toasted cheese sandwich. So I've got some chickens here which have been boned and flattened, but the skin is still on. So to flavour it, a little bit of oil, lots of za'atar. Za'atar is dried wild thyme. If you can get za'atar, fabulous. Otherwise, dried thyme will work. And a good sprinkling of salt. And a squeeze of lemon. It may look like a lime, but that is a lemon. And now for the important bit. Take a knife, a sharp knife, and stab it a number of times.
The skin has now little tiny holes in it so it doesn't shrink so quickly. But also, all the flavour goes underneath the skin and goes into the flesh. Chicken in the pan, skin side down, and a little bit more olive oil across the top. After a bit of raw chicken, wash your hands before you get on with the next bit. So whilst the chicken cooks, I'm going to make spiced aubergine.
Into the bowl goes tahini and lemon juice.
Give it a stir. It'll go firm like concrete. Add it to that a little bit of water to slacken it. The tahini mixture should be more of a paste. The aubergines here are fantastic. So you take an aubergine and either roast it for a very long time in an oven, about half an hour, or put it over flame and toast it. And they end up like this. They look a bit shriveled and as if they're no good to anybody, but what's inside is this smoky, wonderful, rich aubergine puree. So just split the aubergine down the middle, careful none of the black ash falls inside, and then open it up. Take a spoon, start from the top, and very gently scrape the inside flesh out of the aubergine. Look at that. It's almost like clotted cream, it's so thick.
Time to turn over the chicken.
You'll see the crispy skin, exactly how I want it to be.
Whilst that cooks, I'm going to finish off my spiced aubergine.
The board is fine, don't clean it. Let that little bit of residue from the outside of the aubergine stay there. Bring it together and just gently pull it apart with your fingers and a spoon. Now needs to be seasoned. Dry roasted cumin and coriander, and a good amount, and a squeeze of lemon. Chase away the pips, and a sprinkling of salt. So, with my aubergine puree, I'm going to put some chickpeas as well, to give it a bit of texture. Take some chickpeas which are cooked, and in your hand, just give them a nice little squash. Tinned chickpeas are absolutely fine if you don't want to cook your own. Mix it all together, and then into my tahini.
And add some chopped basil to finish it off.
My chicken's cooked all the way through. Take it out of the pan and put it onto a plate to rest. It needs to rest because there's lots going on. As it's cooking, there's lots of water molecules going around. And if you don't let it rest, as you cut it open, all the moisture comes out. So let it sit gently, and it'll be wonderful and moist. What I'm left with now is 2 lots of what I will call flavour residue. The flavour residue from my aubergine on the board, and the flavour residue from my chicken in the pan. All that flavour residue is going to go to make my version of a toasted cheese sandwich. Take 2 slices of bread and rub the bread all the way over that board. That's the inside of the sandwich. Take some cheese, fresh cheese. You can use goat's cheese or sheep's milk cheese. I suppose you could even use cream cheese if you wanted to with a little bit of salt and pepper. The pan's still hot from the chicken, so you take the piece of bread and drop it in. And turn it over straight away so you get the residue from the chicken on both sides. That's John Torodes' Egyptian toasted cheese sandwich. This sort of thing just makes me happy. Sit and toast, and as soon as it starts to smoke, turn it over. Look at that, all crispy. And now to mix it all together and to put the dish on a plate.
To serve, spoon plenty of the spiced aubergine on the plate, the juicy chicken, and then the slice of lovely crispy toasted sandwich.
A bit of fresh herb.
Lastly, a dribble of olive oil.
And there you have it. My chicken with spiced aubergine, chickpeas, and a toasted Egyptian cheese sandwich. A letter from Luxor. I have been absolutely blown away by Luxor because this river has fed this verdant land for thousands of years. And out of it, some of the most humble food I've eaten, but also some of the most delicious. This is Dubai, a place full of unexplored culinary delights. And I'm here to find out as much as I possibly can about it.
I love Middle Eastern food, but I do know I've still got a lot to learn.
Wow, they are sweet, aren't they?
So I'm on a journey through bustling cities and lush farmlands. And from glittering coastlines to harsh desert landscapes.
If the scorpions or the snakes come, you can see they've been here already.
To discover how so many communities have thrived here.
400 breads a day. Yes, you guys are busy.
I'll be shown familiar favourites.
It's never too late to learn how to make hummus.
And sample new flavours.
It's like the best kebab I've ever eaten in my life.
And I'll be using that inspiration in dishes of my own.
Well done, me.
This time I'm in Dubai, where my culinary skills are pushed to the limits.
Cool, look at that. It is like a sandcastle.
And I get a taste of Middle Eastern portion size.
The whole fish? I thought we were going to have a piece of the fish.
And I'll be getting my hands dirty with my very own Dubai-inspired dish.
Get your hand in there and give it a really good squeeze.
Dubai sits on the southeastern coast of the Gulf and is the largest and most populous city in the United Arab Emirates. These days, Dubai is a futuristic city famous for its glittering skyscrapers. But just 50 years ago, it was home to less than 60,000 people. It now boasts a population of over 3 million. It's home to over 200 nationalities, and expats make up a staggering 90% of the residents.
This is a place that draws people in from around the world, and with it, their culinary influences. I'm here to try the food from across the Middle East and beyond.
It's the Muslim festival of Ramadan, which means that whilst food preparation goes on during the day, you have to wait until after sunset to eat out in the streets. I'm always keen to seek out the less well-known flavours in a new city, so I've been joined by Ava, who runs Frying Pan Adventures, for a sunset tour of Dubai's most authentic Middle Eastern eateries.
What is this street? What is so special about this street?
So we're on Rigga Road. This was one of the first areas to be urbanized. It's actually one of the places with the richest amount of Middle Eastern food specifically, because growing up here, we had a lot of different people who had come in from different Arab countries and made it their home. And over the years, I've seen more and more specialty cuisines come up.
So there's plenty of food then?
There's lots of food.
Okay, right, let's go. Come on.
First up on our Middle Eastern food tour of Dubai is an Egyptian speciality that I won't be attempting at home.
Right, where are we now?
We are at my favorite Egyptian restaurant. So they do Egyptian street-style food, and one of our favorites is the Egyptian version of pizza that we call fatir.
He's good with that thing, isn't he?
So we're gonna get ours with 2 kinds of cheese, a mild mozzarella, but then the very tart, sour Rumi cheese, which is the aged Egyptian hard cheese.
Okay.
And basturma is a cured beef. It's like pastrami. And then I like some tomatoes, some peppers, olives for the brininess, and that's all.
Sounds like a pizza.
Exactly.
Wow.
بس واحدة, بس واحد. Shukran.
How do I eat it?
With the hands. You just pick it up and you go for it, just like pizza. What do you think?
It's a cross between a pizza and a phyllo pastry parcel. When you sit here like this, I don't feel like I'm in Dubai. There's not a big glitzy skyscraper building anywhere.
There are so many different pockets of Dubai, and every pocket gives you a different flavor. You can bring out all of these stories of how communities live. You can bring it all out through the food.
There's always a story in every single plate of food.
Totally agree.
Wow, I didn't expect to have an Egyptian pizza. Let's see what the Palestinians can bring to the table.
This is one of the most incredible Palestinian Jordanian places in the city.
So what are we going to eat?
We're going to have musakhan, which is the Palestinian version of a chicken pie.
My chicken pie. It's a chicken pizza.
Chicken, caramelized onions, lots of olive oil, bread, and then a nice crisped up chicken.
Who in the world doesn't like roast chicken? That's really good.
So we call this dish musakhan because it's from the word sakhan, which means to heat. And traditionally, this would be made in the homes by the families in Palestine to be able to test what is the quality of the olive oil.
So this whole dish
Yes,
is an excuse to test olive oil.
exactly.
Well, it's a great excuse. It's the one thing that I'm really noticing about Dubai is that there's a lot more to Dubai than meets the eye.
Yes.
See what I did there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
copyright that quickly.
That's it. They might make me a shake.
Only meters down the road, and I'm apparently about to try the national dish of Iraq.
Wow. The last time I saw anything cooked around a fire like this was in Argentina, where they cook whole bits of meat on a cross. They call it cruz. I've never seen fish cooked like this, ever.
What you're seeing is one of the most ancient cooking techniques for fish in Iraq. This is maskoof.
So what sort of fish is it?
So it's a relative of carp, usually a barbel. This is usually a fish that people in a lot of countries will just throw out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not carp, it's not a fish that you see regularly on menus because it's a very strong fish.
Exactly. And that's why you cook it for 45 minutes, because that smoke will then help to flavor the fish. Each of these is about 4 kilos.
Right, and we're going to eat one of those each? Some of those fish may be bigger than you. The whole fish? I thought we were going to have a piece of the fish.
Thought you were hungry.
Well, yeah, I'm hungry, but that's ridiculous.
I'll do half, you do the other half. I think we can do it.
Send the rest of the crew. That's going to be packed lunch for a week.
So we tear our tandoor bread. I go in for my fish. Put in rehan, which is a kind of basil, and then that's your perfect bite. A little dip of the mango pickle, just a little bit goes a long way, and that's how you eat it. And then you're golden.
Wow. Wowee. The first thing I get is that basil.
Yes.
Really tinny, almost aniseed basil. Then sweet turmeric, almost a piccalilli type flavour. The flavour of the fish, because the fish I expect to be very strong, it's not strong. Softer bread, little bits of onion seeds. It's like the best kebab I've ever eaten in my life. I've been here before and eaten in hotel dining rooms and glitzy restaurants. And I have to tell you, that's the best meal I've eaten in Dubai ever. That is really, really good. If you don't believe me, honestly, this is one of the most sensational, excuse me, my mouth's full, sensational piece of fish I've ever eaten.
You've got no chance, mate. It's not just on the streets of Dubai that you can find authentic Middle Eastern food. I'm off to the Rixos Hotel on the famous Palm to meet Turkish chef Nurettin Selek to see how he too has brought the flavours of his homeland to this desert oasis.
How are you?
Good, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. We will cook today halwa. This is very traditional Turkish dish.
Okay. Yeah. Where do we go to first?
First, we are going to butter.
To make the halwa, semolina is added to melted butter.
Can you mix?
Yes, of course I can. I'll look after this.
Yep.
While I mix, he adds sugar to milk.
Wow. Wow, look at that. So just explain to me what you're looking for when you toast the semolina.
It's a number 1 color, number 2 smell. Yeah, see, almost ready. See the color, change it. Smells start to change,
I
right?
can smell it, yes.
Yeah.
The smell of butter caramel.
Yes, exactly.
And I can start to see the steam coming off it as well. So this pan's really, really hot with that toasted semolina, and the milk's added to it, and automatically it comes together this porridge mixture.
To make the crunchy centre of the halwa, he mixes chopped nuts, butter, sugar, and cinnamon. Finally, a generous helping of cream. This is not going to be good for my waistline.
How many different nationality chefs do you have in your kitchen?
17 different nationalities.
Is that a true reflection of Dubai at the moment, that it's a very multicultural city?
In my hotel today, I have 8 different nationalities stay with us. They want to see something from their culture as well.
We carefully shape the halwa into a flower pot and stuff it with a nutty filling.
Okay.
Now we will cover completely.
So it's got a bottom on it?
Yes.
I halva bottom. I halva bottom. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Cool, look at that.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Nice, huh?
Yeah, lovely. It is like a sandcastle.
Now for the finishing touches, setting light to a fig.
People don't have these blow torches, but I think every home should have one.
Luckily for me, fasting for Ramadan isn't required in hotels, so I'm going to dig right in.
What's fascinating about this classic halwa is that actually it's a true reflection of Dubai. It is a mountain of sand sculpted into something completely different with a modern twist. It just reminds me where I am. Sweetened semolina, all together quite buttery and very, very rich, made into this lovely pudding. It's the spoils of the Middle East, served in a very modern way. Very tasty indeed.
I'm in Dubai, sampling the many expat specialities on offer around this culinary melting pot. It's not only people from across the Middle East that have brought a taste of home to Dubai. I'm off to Ravi's, a restaurant named after a Pakistani river, so I'm guessing it's not going to be Chinese.
Wahid, how are you?
Hi, John. How you doing?
Very, very well, thank you.
Well, let me show you around with the restaurant.
Wow. So everything's done over coals?
Yes, over coals. We do the chicken tikka, the kebabs, and the lamb chops. That's one of the most popular dishes in the restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
So how long's the restaurant been here, Wahid?
The restaurant's been here like 39 years now.
And you have been here?
My whole life.
So you and your family had this restaurant before those buildings ever went up?
Absolutely. I've seen them come up myself.
So what was here before then?
There was just the trade center, and all the way to Abu Dhabi, there was only sand on both the sides.
But there was Ravi's?
Ravi's has always been there. Ravi's and sand from the beginning.
There must be a lot of Indians and Pakistanis in Dubai.
Absolutely. They're the biggest population in the UAE, the Pakistanis and Indians.
The biggest population in the UAE?
Absolutely.
Is that right?
It is more than the local population.
Wow. What you're doing is cooking authentic Indian and Pakistani food.
Yes, that's definitely.
For the people who live here, who are Pakistani and Indian.
True.
So you are providing a service and food from home.
Yes, absolutely.
To make them feel at home.
It is.
Where are we off to next?
Off to the main kitchen now.
I follow you.
Yeah, sure.
With almost 100 dishes on the menu, let's just say there's never a dull moment.
This is not some little home kitchen. This is cooking on an industrial scale.
A massive scale, yes. Because we operate 22 hours. We open at 5 in the morning, we close at 3. So the kitchen actually does not close at all. It's open 24 hours.
So there's always cooking going on?
It is. The kitchen is never closed.
Ah, the smell is unbelievable.
This is the naan bread they're making right now.
I've never seen this with a stamp before.
They used to do it with their own fingers back in the day. And obviously, if the one person is cooking about 300, 400 breads a day, it takes a toll on them.
300 or 400 breads a day?
Yes.
You guys are busy. Oh, that was good.
During Ramadan, we have samosas, we have the dates, which we do not serve during the whole year, only during Ramadan.
Why is that?
We do it because that's how we open up our fast. So you should open up your fast with a date.
And then a samosa. I'm always learning something. I love a samosa.
Here we go. This is basic cookery. We've got a hob, a wok, a lot of noise, and we're standing only a couple of feet from the street. In other words, exactly what I came for.
Wow-ho.
That's our most popular dish.
What's it called?
Chicken peshawari.
Chicken peshawari.
We're gonna do it from scratch for you.
So this is chicken he's got in this pan?
Yes. They put in the raw chicken over there, and they're gonna cook it with the oil. And he put in some salt, a little bit of red chili.
It's one very cool way of cutting a tomato.
So you're gonna put the tomatoes inside and then put a lid on top. Then the flavor actually goes in with the oil. That's where the gravy comes in.
It's still warm out in these streets, isn't it? Imagine how warm it is in there. He's good enough to give me a tissue. Huh? There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. You can see the tomatoes have all broken down really nicely.
Yes.
And become this, as you call, gravy. What's that going in?
That's the yogurt going in.
That's
for the gravy.
So quite a bit of yogurt.
Yes. In our country, it comes with very less gravy. It's a bit dry. People over here, we have to localize it because they want a little gravy with the chicken.
That's unusual. The ginger is going in very late. That's normally something I put in quite early. It's going to the wok with the green chilies and the chopped coriander.
Chicken peshawari. That's not bad, is it? Thank you. To walk along a street like this and find that there is food, authentic food from Pakistan and India, is a great surprise. And a revelation. Thank you
It was
so
a
much.
pleasure
Jake.
meeting you.
Real pleasure meeting you
Take care.
too. Thank you so very much indeed. Thank you.
Ah, the moment I've been waiting for. Well, almost.
Wahib's off to break fast with his family, and I'm off for dinner. But I can't eat until I hear the call for prayer.
Ah, great. Let's tuck in.
The sun's gone down, the call to prayer's come. You get to see it cooked in front of you, and then you get to eat it. Soft chicken, a little bit of ginger, sweet tomatoes, the little bits of green chili really make it spicy. Food like this is always going to be delicious because it's not for me, it's for the locals. That's the way to eat when you're in Dubai, if you search it out.
I'm gonna have to raise my game to bring something new to this cookery capital.
This is good.
I do have something in mind, but I'm going to need some ingredients from the market.
Fenugreek, parsley, coriander. Perfect. Shukran.
I'm at the Radisson Blu Dubai waterfront to cook a recipe of my very own.
Inspired by the food I've seen around Dubai from the Middle East and the Indian subcontinent, I'm going to make a spiced potato cake with really delicious chickpeas. So to do the chickpeas, I'm going to toast the mustard seeds. Some olive oil, good amount of olive oil. Start the heat quite high. As the oil starts to shimmer, then add the mustard seeds. As they go into that hot oil, you'll hear them and they'll be popping like popcorn.
In the pan go curry leaves, chopped onions, and chili powder.
And then to that, you're going to add the chickpeas. A couple of spoonfuls of the chickpeas first. And now the water. And add to that a little bit of salt. Give it a stir. Smelling good.
Next, I add fresh tomatoes and chopped chili.
The bigger the chili, the less heat. The smaller the chili, the more heat. This is going to be quite spicy. Now, this fenugreek. If you can search out fresh fenugreek, do grab it.
Fenugreek is an aromatic plant commonly used in Indian cooking.
Give it a squeeze to release the oils, and then drop it in. As that cooks away, the last little flavour is ginger. I've now changed the way I use ginger in this because of the way I saw it at Ravi's. They put it at the last minute so it's still lovely and fresh. You learn something every time you watch somebody cook, even me. That ginger is going to be quite powerful, almost like strands of spaghetti amongst the chickpeas. But I want that. I don't want it to be in any way subtle. I want it to be vivacious. I want it to be bold. I want it to take me on a journey. I want to feel like I'm back at Ravi's having a piece of chicken with all that ginger put together. Look at that. I'm going to let the chickpeas cook, and now I'm going to make the potato cakes.
2/3 of a large pile of grated baked potato goes into one bowl, the other third into a smaller bowl.
The large bowl is going to be the outer coating, and the smaller bowl is going to be the inside, which is all spiced. This is a local spice mix which is made up of ground cumin, ground coriander, cardamom and turmeric with some black pepper, a little bit of nutmeg and some cloves. 2 teaspoons. Very quickly it will toast and become very fragrant. The spice mix is now going to go in the small bowl of grated potato.
Next, I add some chopped chilies and coriander and a pinch of salt.
Once all those bits and pieces are in with that potato, then you can start to push it all together. And there's no substitutes for hands. Really get your hand in there and give it a really good squeeze. This recipe will make 4 to 6 potato cakes. I'm going to make 4. Now for the plain grated potato. A little pinch of salt and cooked rice. White, cooked, cold rice. Start to squash it together and knead it almost like bread, pushing it together so it becomes a mixture of potato and rice, which is unidentifiable. Take a handful of the potato mix and push it out. And you get to the stage where you'll now be able to push your thumb into it. What I want is I want a hollow cup. You take your nucleus and you drop it into the middle. Push it down and then bring the outside of the top of the cake together. The whole mixture now folds up. This is a little secret inside a potato casing.
Next, sprinkle chickpea flour onto those fully formed cakes and drop them into a shallow pan of hot oil. where they will stay until they're crisp. Then you flip them over, cook them for 5 more minutes, and then lay them on your chickpea mixture for serving.
A few bits of ginger across the top. There you have it, spiced potato cakes, chickpeas and ginger. Very good. Over the last couple of days, I've enjoyed some extraordinary food, authentic and traditional food. It could be from Iraq or Palestine, Turkey, Pakistan and India, all of it to be found here on the streets of Dubai. Be adventurous, step outside wherever you are in the world and find something delicious. As I continue my journey around the Middle East, I am now in Aswan in the south of Egypt. With that desert kissing the Nile, the city on the other side, I have no idea what to expect.
I love Middle Eastern food, but I do know I've still got a lot to learn.
Wow, they are sweet, aren't they?
So I'm on a journey through bustling cities and lush farmlands. And from glittering coastlines to harsh desert landscapes.
If the scorpions or the snakes come, you can see they've been here already.
To discover how so many communities have thrived here.
400 breads a day. Yes, you guys are busy.
I'll be showing familiar favourites.
It's never too late to learn how to make hummus.
And sample new flavours.
It's like the best kebab I've ever eaten in my life.
And I'll be using that inspiration in dishes of my own.
Well done, me.
This time, I'm in Aswan digging for answers.
What's in here?
It's a secret.
Will you give me the secret?
No.
Picking up new cookery tricks.
Where do you dry it?
In the sun, يعني.
In the sun.
And I'm as modest as ever about my own recipe.
So there you have it. Absolutely delicious.
Aswan is a region in the south of Egypt which stretches all the way down to the border with Sudan. The ancient city of Aswan is still home to the descendants of one of Africa's oldest civilizations. The Nubian people have been in Aswan for 9,000 years, their wealth coming from gold mines. The word Nubian actually comes from the Egyptian word nub, meaning gold. This all combines to make Aswan a place where the influences of the Middle East meet those of Africa. And this, of course, is reflected in the cuisine.
These travels for me are all about inspiration. And for me, this is where I find it, on the busy streets with all the people, looking at what is available for the locals. I always say to you, follow the crowd. There's a queue here. I don't know what it's for, but I'm gonna have a look. Come on, let's go and have a look. Come on. So, what is it? It's bread. Everyone's queued up for their daily bread. I love this chaos. What's this?
Egyptian.
And chips. I always thought it was just us that had chips with everything, but here we've got falafel and chips. It's really, the technique's quite amazing. This guy seems to be making falafel like he's milking a cow. He seems to squish it together. Look, and out it comes. And the smell of garlic and beans is just phenomenal. Now for the taste test. They're smaller, like little fish bites. They're sweet and not very much spice, but the beans come through. You can really taste the beans and a little tiny bit of mint just in the background. Chips. Oh, look, they're proper as well. All brown and crispy on the outside. You can tell they're all fluffy on the inside. Chips are delicious. You know, sometimes when you're away, you feel a bit homesick, and a chip goes a long way to make you feel comfortable. Falafel and chips. Shukran. خمسة. Shukran. What's this called? What's its name?
Fatir.
Fatir.
Fatir, yes.
So, Fatir.
It's called fatir.
Fatir.
Fatir, yes.
Right, it's time for a cup of coffee, I think. Strong, delicious coffee. There's not really an elegant way of eating a biscuit with so much icing sugar on it. So much sugar, I can't speak properly. To dunk or not to dunk? That is the question. After my Middle Eastern morning in the bustling city market, I'm keen to see another side of Aswan. And for that, I need to take a boat across the river. My guide, Bassam, has promised me a taste of his beloved Nubian cuisine at one of his favourite spots. The Nubians have been resettled several times over the years, so whilst their cooking has retained traditional flavours and techniques, they've also embraced their new surroundings by adding local ingredients. Which way? You show me the way. Wow, this place looks pretty cool.
This is a Nubian restaurant, Aswan.
It's like a nightclub.
Yeah.
Do you come dancing here at night time?
Sometimes they are make a Nubian wedding here at night.
Oh, so this is not just a restaurant, but somewhere for celebration?
Yes.
And what do these colours mean?
Oh, this is a Nubian colors. Every color is mean from something. Red for the blood, yellow for the sun, green for the trees, and blue for the Nile.
Do you eat Nile fish?
Yes, this is my favorite food.
Right, let's go. Should we get some food?
Okay.
Come on, show me the way. Well, if it's Bessam's favourite, I'll give it a go. Hello, Chef.
Welcome.
Hello, I'm John.
Okay, Mr. You're welcome.
Bessam introducing me to Chef Awad. And you're going to show me some fish?
Yes, Nile, tajine.
Tajine?
Yeah.
Nile fish tajine.
Nubian style.
First things first, clean the fish, which is Nile perch. I think I might buy him a pair of scissors. That's off the scale. Never seen a fish clean. I've never seen a fish cleaned so noisily. Finally cleaned, it's time to marinate. So what's this? Vinegar?
It's cumin.
Cumin, okay. Wow, lots of cumin.
Yeah.
What's this one?
Special spice mix.
Your secret spices?
Yes.
This is very good. What's in here?
It's no secret.
Will you give me the secret?
No.
Okay.
Salt.
Very generous with your marinade. Garlic.
Lemon.
You call this a lemon?
Yeah.
Squeeze. So we've got in here vinegar,
Yeah.
cumin,
Cumin.
fish spice,
And
salt.
And secret spice.
And your secret spices.
You remember that?
The marinade is poured inside and on top of the fish. Ah, really interesting. What's happened is by just putting that bit of vinegar across the top of the lemon juice and all those spices, the fish has gone from being quite a strong fishy smell because it's just been gutted and cleaned to suddenly became very, very fresh with that vinegar and lime and cumin and the chef's special spice mix. We place the fish in the fridge to cool and absorb all those lovely flavours. And now we turn our attention to the tajine sauce. This is made from chopped tomatoes, peppers, onions, carrots and tomato paste. To prepare this, we move to the outdoor kitchen. So the good thing about an onion is actually you can tell when it's cooked. And if you do just stick your head close to the pot, and it makes your eyes water, they're not quite ready. And you also, if you have a good look in there, you'll see it's bubbling quite fiercely. When all the bubbles disappear, the onions are cooked. What now?
Pepper.
Peppers. Chopped carrot. So your colours are very Nubian.
Yeah.
Red from the onion.
Yes.
Green and yellow.
Yeah.
Like Nubian colours. Various leaves join the party, including parsley, coriander and dill. The fish comes out of the fridge and is covered with flour.
And so now it's being fried. Not shallow fried, deep fried. That's going to be cooked all the way through, that's for sure.
Awad pours some of the tajine sauce into a clay pot, adds the deep-fried fish on top, and then fills it to the brim. Then bakes it.
Now I put it in the oven for nearly 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
And while it's in the oven, I'll take in the Nile side view.
Shukran. Thank you very much. Look at this, tajine of Nile perched next to the Nile, and you can see why it's people's favourite. Right. There we are. Perfectly white, flaky fish cooked all the way through. Yum. There is a sort of wonderful sweetness of tomato and the smokiness of those special spices from the chef. It's really delicious. And sweet carrot. I didn't expect the carrot to add much, but the carrot makes it very sweet. Peppers with a little bit of spice. It's just delicious. Tell you what a day. What a way to start my journey around Aswan. On my culinary journey around the Middle East, I'm now in Aswan in the south of Egypt. And there are culinary influences here from the Middle East and from Africa. A food scene exciting and waiting to be discovered.
In ancient times, the Nubians ruled Egypt as pharaohs and constructed vast fields of pyramids under the leadership of female rulers.
That's the desert.
I've been invited to my new friend Bassam's for a home-cooked Nubian meal. I'm looking forward to finding out if it's the women who run the show, as their ancestors did thousands of years ago.
Hiya.
Welcome to my house.
Wow, this is amazing. What is that?
Or a snake. If moving, you can see it also here.
So this sand, if the scorpions or the snakes come,
Yes.
you can see they've been here already.
Yes.
So you know what to do and to chase them away.
Where they are going also.
Well, we're going from snakes to snacks.
Hello, family. How are you all?
Fine.
Wow, look at those big smiling faces.
So many people in this house,
Come
but where are all the men?
I get the whole family to cook with. This is incredible.
I quickly find out who I'll be working with.
Mushira, Amira, Susie, and I'm John. And we're going to make noodles.
We will be making shawarma, which is a Nubian dessert of sweet noodles. We start by making the dough.
Look, here we go. A glass of flour.
3 glasses. A little bit of salt and some water.
Mix the salt and the flour together. Can I feel that dough? It's dry, it's not sticky in any way, it doesn't stick to your hands. That's the whole idea, I guess. Lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
How long does she have to knead that for?
Just 3 minutes.
Just about 3 minutes, just to make the dough. Okay, take little balls off.
Little balls.
When would you usually eat this dish?
Celebrity.
Celebrity? I'm a celebrity. You mean celebrations?
Celebration.
Celebrations. So this is for a celebration for a celebrity?
Yes.
Perfect. That's the sort of dish we want.
In weddings.
Weddings?
Yes.
I like weddings. I've had 2.
You want Nubian Roma?
No! No.
Yeah. If you want more...
If I want more?
Yes.
No. They're too expensive.
Not expensive.
Yeah, it's really expensive. Right, so you all these into the little balls, and that's it. Just wow. So they are, look, just little dough balls at the top of a Nubian house.
Once the dough is ready, out comes the pasta machine.
Am I doing okay, Susie?
Yeah.
What's amazing is this dough is really, really soft, and it goes through the machine very, very easily. It's now coated with lots of flour, and then we roll it out. Right, so look at this. But it's very wet.
After it's thin enough and floured enough, it goes through the machine again, this time to be cut into noodles, before.
Dry.
Do you dry it?
Yeah.
Where do you dry it?
In the sun, يعني.
In the sun.
While those noodles take the rest of the day off to sunbathe, the whole family are busying themselves preparing more. They need 24 hours to dry. Lucky for us, we have some on hand.
They're really crispy. And then this is the rest of the ingredients. Butter and honey.
They're dropped into a well-buttered saucepan and milk is added.
How long do we have to wait?
Yeah, maybe 15 minutes.
Beautiful. You wouldn't believe what's going on there. I mean, there's food. There's food everywhere. I thought we were just making this. There's about 25 dishes in there. Perfect. Oh, look, I have to tell you, what an amazing experience. Everybody's laughing, the food is at the table, friends turn up. It's a joy.
And now for the tasting.
Oh, look at that.
كتير.
I think Susie was overzealous with the honey. The rest of the family will go, no! Too much honey. But it is, it's like rice pudding made with pasta. It's spaghetti with milk and honey. Kids would love this. Imagine that sweet pasta. Forget the bolognese. It's time for shawarma. Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Inspired by the feast, Bassam is taking me back to the city. Time for some shopping, and I feel a bit fruity.
So shukran. Fresh fig, tiny. Oh my goodness, they're like peaches. So fragrant, so beautiful, delicious. Nuts are expensive. Look at this. Biscuits and things with nuts and cherries. Can I try one, please? This is kanafa, and I've seen this all over the Middle East. Bits of vermicelli, and inside a mixture of sugar, and then some sugar. Wow. This so lovely sweet mixture with rose water and cream cheese mixture in the middle of it. It's sort of like a vermicelli cheesecake. Maybe I might cook something sweet rather than cooking something savoury. I'm going to make a classic dish called baklava, a mixture of nuts, phyllo pastry and a sugar syrup, and then it's flavoured any way you like. The first thing to do is to make a sugar syrup. The secret to a good sugar syrup is not to make it too sweet. $50 ml of water. And the secret ingredient, so it's not too sweet, is lemon juice. And now for some flavour, rose water. Nice big capful. The actual syrup is used in two ways. First, to bind the nuts, and then when the baklava comes out of the oven, it goes across the top as a sweet, sticky syrup.
I bought these beautifully soft blanched almonds at the market.
They go soft, almost like a bean, and that's really important because they make the mix stick together with the sugar syrup.
I add these to walnuts, pistachios and hazelnuts and chop them.
Put all the nuts into a bowl, sprinkle them with a little bit of cinnamon. My sugar syrup's ready, add to that a little bit of honey. Add half the sugar syrup to the nut mixture. Give it a good stir.
I've got a pie tin at the ready, so now it's time to unsheath my phyllo pastry.
And out it comes. Grease the pie tin with some melted butter, brush it all over, and now 6 layers of phyllo pastry. First layer, butter all over. The butter and the phyllo together, when they cook, puff up, so you have a puff pastry type affair, but a lot more crispy. And the phyllo pastry will also absorb all the lovely sweet stickiness which is mixed around the nuts. And then that lovely sweet, sticky, nutty, cinnamony mix goes into the flan tin and pat it all out so it covers the whole bottom. And now for the top. 6 more layers of buttered phyllo. Butter them really well. Tuck the edges in. And just take your time. Enjoy it. And now for the top layer, the last layer. This time, butter side up. And now, just chop some nuts to sprinkle over the top. And then take a sharp knife and cut right down the middle. Be gentle with it. And then into strips, like little runways. Now goes into the oven.
Until it's puffy and brown. And I've already got one ready because I can't wait to eat it.
That is just what I want. Take the other half of your syrup that you've made, and because the syrup has cooled, it's now become a lot more sticky. And then you determine how much syrup you want on it. Do you want it sweet, super sweet, or Egyptian sweet? Crispy bits on the edge, look. So there you have it. A heady mix of rose syrup, honey, sugar, pistachios and walnuts with phyllo pastry and butter. Absolutely delicious. This journey through the Middle East continues to inspire me, and Aswan has reminded me that a big smile, a generous heart, and keeping things simple is sometimes the best.